Hi everyone, I am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel. For everybody who is new, welcome back to all of my subscribers. Today we are going to be doing another unboxing and flip through, this time of the Portals of Presence Oracle deck by Deborah Koff Chapin. Hopefully I said that right. I actually got this deck in a mystery box, so I'm going to put all the information down below, but I paid for it. I just didn't pay for this specifically, so we'll just put the information in the description box. So what's really cool, I did look this up after receiving it. This is more or less user's preference type oracle deck. There are no meanings to the cards. They're all up for the user to just identify the meanings themselves based off of the imagery, and that's just such a cool concept. So this is a 72 card, wow, that's a lot, 72 card, 4.5 inch by 6 inch with guidebook and audio download. That is crazy. That's a lot of cards. I don't know that I have an oracle deck. Maybe my Threads of Fate deck is a few cards, you know, a nice amount of cards, but this is almost the amount of a tarot deck, so that's very interesting. So on the back it says, enter a deeper relationship with yourself and the world through the universal language of the human face. So all of the cards are going to be faces. The images in this deck were selected from 20 years of work created in the presence of ancient trees, mountains, standing stones, temples, cathedrals, and human wisdom carriers from many lineages. Each face radiates a unique presence. Think of them as allies, nature spirits, beloveds, or visitors from a subtle realm. Gaze deeply and explore your relationship with these beings. That's so cool. So, okay. I'm getting excited. Sorry, guys. So it goes on to say, rather than offer written meanings, the guidebook supports you to cultivate your own experience with the cards. It offers ways to select them, to lay them out, to enliven them through the creative process. It also includes an audio download of a guided meditation with original music. How cool. I'm gonna have to do a whole in-depth review. So if you guys want me to do that, comment below. Let me know if you want me to do like a month with this oracle deck, and where I kind of explore all of the different aspects of the guidebook and the audiobook. But it says, use it to hold sacred space while you work with the cards. Portals of Presence can be combined with Soul cards 1 and 2. So these are other decks that have a similar motif. All right, let's look at the box. Sort of a classic box. Shiny, has the little thumb cutouts, which I really like. It makes opening the box so much easier. It is shiny all the way around. The sides are pretty no frills, just the name on one side. So if you have to store this in a specific way, like say you could only store it going this way, you would have to remember that this box is for this deck, because you only have the name on the one side. So just something to keep in mind. It doesn't bother me so much, but I do like to point it out. So let's go ahead and open it up. It has that nice suction. The artwork goes into the box here. Inside is just as shiny. I love when they include a little bit of something on the inside of the box. Sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's artwork. These are a lot of cards, and they are huge. Okay, we are going to get into that though. So we have here the back of the box. It kind of looks like cells through a microscope, or stars from like the original photos of the Hubble telescope. So let me know, guys, what you think this looks like. Yeah, it's kind of cool. The box is very sturdy, which it should be if these cards are so huge. And I think this, other than its size, because of how well the box is made, I think it would make for a great travel deck, because it has that great suction. Hear that? Yeah, has that great suction, so things aren't going to fall apart as you're traveling. It's just very huge. My entire hand fits in this box. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at the guidebook. The guidebook has the same sort of motif going through. It has a little person here, but you can see these eyes shining through. The back is plain, but it's a very thin guidebook. I mean, she wasn't kidding when she said the guidebook is just meant to be like support in the reading. So we have the entry page, little information about publication, and then we go into the table of contents. Even for a tiny book, I love when there are table of contents. There's the vision for the deck, how to use the cards, approaching the portals, entering the portals, creating exploration within the portals, closing the portals. I'm saying portals a lot, but working with multiple portals, using the portals with others, enrichment, how the portals of presence came into being, a larger context, sources and gratitudes, resources, and about the creator. I like that they have sources and resources. I think that is a really, really thoughtful thing to have. So here is the vision for the deck. I kind of already gave a rundown from the back of the book. How to use the cards. And it kind of goes into just, you know, the fact that the guidebook offers various ways to use the cards. It goes into say the core purpose of this deck is to evoke a sense of being in a relationship. It's very interesting that it talks so much about portals. I absolutely love that this starts with centering and grounding. This is one of the foundational things in witchcraft that I tell people about. Even though tarot is not inherently witchcraft, I think it's so important, and I think this is the only guidebook I've ever seen that talks about it. Here's the information about the audio recording. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cover that because I don't know if she wants people to have that link if they have not purchased the deck. But not only can the front of the cards, like the main picture on the cards, be part of the reading, but you can also use the back to do card gazing. And card gazing, I think, is somewhat to scrying, but more so activating your brain than trying to see images in the card. So she goes into how to select the cards, and I realized that she's calling each card a portal. So as we reflect back on the table of contents, that makes a lot of sense. So she mentions reflection, and this is where she says to focus on your intent, your intention, look through the images on the cards, and then select one or more that catch your attention. So this is where you see the card and then you pull it based off of, you know, how you're feeling. Or you can use divination, where you do it the sort of classic tarot oracle way, where you just have the back of the card and you pull blindly and then flip them over. And then of course she does mention a combination of the two. But there's a lot of this that goes into deep gazing and visualization of each card. So she says, pay attention to the shapes, textures, and colors. Gaze into the face. Can you sense a living presence behind this image? Stay with it beyond your habitual comfort zone. Notice any feelings or thoughts that arise. So these cards are meant to be really just almost meditative, where you sit with them for a long time and kind of let yourself fall into the cards. There's also other creative things that she says you can do with the cards, such as writing and verbal processing, movement and touch. We have mirroring, breathing, and vocalizing. I think that a lot of these are probably going to be covered, not covered, but supported by the audio guidebook. There's image making, connecting to the natural world. You can even create an altar around the cards, and she includes like this cool little natural altar outside. So if you have an altar or a meditation spot, you can pull out a card to focus on it as you do your meditation, or if you have a working altar as you're doing your working, some like an intent that you can focus on. And I really like that. Oh my gosh, I just like got so many ideas just now. Then it goes into closing the portals, which is basically like returning the card to the deck. And she has a lot of different things based off of what you were doing. So gratitude and closure, which is like if you're doing a working, some people will thank their card for their work and you can put it back, or return to yourself. So if you're doing more meditation where you're letting your mind just kind of soak into the card, you're returning back to your body. These are common guided meditation prompts, I feel like. You can also attune to the presence around you. And then working with multiple portals. So it's talking about if you choose multiple things, you can either pull all 72 cards out and make like a tapestry of faces. You can just group the faces together and notice the similarities, the differences, and how things are connected. So this is a very nice guidebook for being so small. It's so informative. I mean, I just got so many ideas just thinking about them. So let's go ahead and look at this beast of a deck. All right, I'm gonna pull the plastic off. We have the deck. This is a monster. Look at that. The cardstock is, oh, that's interesting. Piece of a card. I don't think any cards are cut off though, so hopefully not. We'll see in the flip through. For cards this big, they're actually nice and sturdy. They could not be any thicker. If they were, this would be unbearable. So I've never had cards this big, so it'll be very interesting. But as you can see, they are high gloss, just like the box, just like the guidebook was. You can see that gloss there. So let's go into the flip through and then we'll talk a little bit more about the cardstock. So that was everything. Let's see how we can shuffle them. This is almost upright. It's almost the width of like a regular tower deck. Like, actually, it more or less is. This is my Wild Unknown, which is like a regular card size. It's so crazy. All right, so let's see. My hands are tiny, so shuffling this is going to be a little bit of a monster. But I think just go slow, kind of get an idea of it. They're very heavy too. The high gloss makes them easier to shuffle, actually. Yeah. So that is really cool. The edges are no frills. I really like that, actually, because these cards are so large that the edges would just become a nightmare, honestly. So I really enjoyed that. If you saw through the flip through how it dawned on me that the cards are called portals, but the real portals are the eyes. So if we look here at like these cards, a lot of cultures consider the eyes like the portals to your soul. So that's why in some like horror movies, like if you look at something, it's like that's how they can steal their soul. But I saw a lot of the elements that look like trees. I'm going to see if I can, you can see some of these floral elements here. These circles are constant motifs in like a lot of these cards here. You can, and these starbursts, circles and starbursts, I'm noticing a lot of commonality between that, and which makes sense. It's what really made me realize that the eyes were the portals. I really love this card. This card is just so amazing. The idea of it's like you're shedding your old skin and seeing what is inside, and you're like re-emerging. It's like this, it's like the transformation card of this deck. And you see here more of that sort of starburst circle theme, but I like that there are no actual meanings to these cards. I wasn't sure how I'd feel. Like I said, I got this in a mystery box, so I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but I think it's challenging, but in a good way. It's also, I think it'll help me evolve as a practitioner of divination. And oh, I have to say, I love this card. This card reminds me of the Void in the Threads of Fate Shadow Edition. I'll put a link in the, or I'll put the card here. And then it has this eyeball in it, and it's just so cool. And then these two together, it's like you have the Void, and then you have the person screaming into the Void. And then you have these circles here. It's like planetary rings, or like the orbital field of a planet. So you see again these starburst themes. This looks very much like an eye, kind of that third eye thing happening. It's very common. This has a very much more natural element, almost animalistic looking. Here we go. This is the guy I was looking for. This reminds me of like an Ent from Lord of the Rings, and this very much, you see the trees and the nature. It's like his face is coming out of the bark, and I think that's just, it's really beautifully done. Conversely, you have this, which looks very fish-like. So you have this guy who is of the earth and this guy who is of the water. All right, everyone, this was the flip through of the Portals of Presence. Let me know what you thought. If you have this deck, let me know how you use it. I'm so curious to get ideas from everybody. If you have ideas just based off of this video, comment below, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you give me a like. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I will catch you later. Bye, guys.